I don't think I've ever went live on anything before. This is a very strange experience. Hello, everyone. I know it's not any different for you since it's like the middle of the night. So, none of my very few followers are watching. But it's Mr. E here to unravel life's mysteries for you for Libra season of 2020. I was just talking to someone about how I should do these videos live. It'll make it way simpler. And I didn't think I actually would even attempt to figure it out because my camera, if you can't tell, is pretty poor quality, which I apologize for. And then my kid picked up my phone and somehow got it with them to become wet. So bye-bye, phone. Hello, computer. We're in Libra season. So Libras can say a lot. They say a lot because it sounds good. They say a lot because it restores balance or helps others to feel validated. We just are moving from the air sign of like, okay, is everything all right? Is everything good? To a new form of creation, the air form of creation, where everything can be a little more easy breezy. And I hope you did the work to clear the way for the Libra season. We have the Rune of Protection, which came up first. Oh my goodness, this is so weird for me. But it is Merkstave. Now, Merkstave is similar to reversals in tarot. Not everyone follows it, and some people who cast runes, who throw them, have meaning if it's, sideways, which way it's pointing. Yeah, this is so weird being live. I am not used to being able to see myself. If someone knows how to hide what you actually look like, because if I did this on my phone, I just wouldn't be looking at myself. That would be appreciated. And thank you everyone for watching this very awkward first live video with Mr. E. You're probably all wondering what the Rune of Protection Merkstave means for you in Libra of 2020. And what this little chicken foot means is the same as the horns or antlers of an elk, and it's also the sagebrush. So it's about protecting yourself and protecting yourself appropriately. You're not going to go put barbed wire between you and a friendly neighbor. And with this Rune of Protection being Merkstave, you really, really want to be careful about who and what you're protecting yourself from. Because ultimately, the truest enemy you will ever have is yourself. Now, with this rune coming up, the enemy within can have you choosing to block off areas that you don't think are societally acceptable or are right with others, because Libra actually squares the Capricorn energy that we have going on in the sky. And Capricorn is all about structure. So Libra seeks balance with everybody. They're the most friendly of all of the cardinal signs. They get things done. They do things. They can be razor sharp with their words, but most of the time they're not. They're actually going to try and find ways to put things eloquently and be tactful. So because it is Libra season, and this rune of protection is Merkstave, I would urge you to not be overly tactful in areas concerning your authenticity and your true nature. That is what is needing protection. We're going to pull some clarifying cards too with my Chakra Oracle Wisdom deck, which I love, and see where it goes from there. We have a card of release. So these cards don't correspond with a tarot deck, which I like that about them. But sometimes when I pull them, it reminds me of reading tarot for people. And this card in particular that I just drew reminds me of the card of Judgment. I don't know how good you can see it. The lighting is really shoddy, and I hope that I don't have to do it this way again with this computer setup. There's a bunch of gravestones around a single person. And they're like, oh no, it's raining on me. And the story with the card of release is about releasing your grief, allowing yourself to feel the rain, feel the pain of loss, but ultimately to walk out of the cemetery, that you're leaving it. And it reminds me of the card of Judgment, where everybody's like popping out of the graves. Oh my goodness, my brain right now. Being me is so interesting. As I'm sure you feel that, I hope you feel that way about yourself. And that you could just find the humor in it. So in the tarot card where everybody is kind of being judged, they're being judged from, tarot is sort of got a Catholic feel to me. So I think of it as like a god in the sky. And this is more of like the new age spiritual source. And it's a source of neutrality. See how the borders are gray? In some chakra books, they will assign this chakra as like violet, ultraviolet, the ethereal realms. But in this deck, I like that they turned it to gray because people will get too hung up on good and bad, black and white. Now, Libra is to bring things in balance. But the thing about Libra, the one sign that is an inanimate object, is that it is not looking to either side to say which is good and which is bad. It's just seeking to keep them balanced. And Libra does this by being one whole thing, not choosing to look one way or the other. So impartiality is key when you think about what you're protecting yourself from. Have you been protecting yourself from things that you think are bad, which could ultimately just be released and walked away from, and you can grieve the loss of that in your life, whatever that was the placeholder for, and not have to protect yourself from it anymore. If you were overeating, you feel like you have to protect yourself from overeating. So you're not having the same food in the house, or you're working this crazy diet, or your mental energy is still going there. And that's fine. That's all right to be in that place of releasing the overeating problem that you're having. You want to move on from it. But the thing is, you don't sit there with it and go, oh, how am I ever going to conquer this? I'm not seeing the weight come off. This is just an example because I know people have been dealing with that being holed up. You have to walk out of the graveyard though. You then step into the new life that you've built where you eat healthier and you buy the foods that you feel nourished by and you take them into your body without guilt. Um, yeah, eating a balanced diet, having a balanced life, and having a balanced protective mechanism in place. Your defensive mechanisms can trip you up and put a fight into places where there doesn't need to be a fight. Just pausing for a second to make sure I got the message out clearly. And I really feel like I did. I don't want to get too long winded with it because, uh, as with Gemini season, I can kind of go on. I've already gone off on like a bunch of tangents. I'm super distracted by this crazy shirt I'm wearing and the background. Oh, and anybody who's like watching, I'm pretty much done. Just move on to the next video. I feel like I'm in the 1980s though, right now. Um, my kid likes to say anything that was in the past was in the 1980s. Oh, dinosaurs. That was like way back in the 1980s. And sometimes they get it right. Where they're like, oh, Black Sabbath. I'm like, yeah. And these patterns together, I don't know. It's like a bad 80s movie to me that I hope you all enjoyed. And if you'd like to book a reading with me, leave any questions, comments, advice on how to do better lives, it's all greatly appreciated. If I don't see you before Scorpio season, I hope you have a wonderful, windy month.